Hello and welcome to this episode of Bullseye, my weekly deep dive into issues of significance, issues that matter, issues that people in Goa want to know about. This is done to bring clarity from clutter. This is Inc. Goa and I'm Shujai Gupta. The Political Affairs Committee of the Goa Congress has now expressed or formally expressed its desire to have alliances with non-BJP parties. Now, the AI desk in charge, Manikrao Thakre, he said that Mr. Girish Chodankar, the GPCC president, would lead the way in forging alliances with parties or at least begin the alliance process. Now, on the face of it, this sounds like a very politically sensitive and a politically good statement. In a state like Goa, where margins matter, where multi-cornered contests are a norm rather than an exception, and where the BJP vote is often scattered, this idea of non-BJP alliance sounds very good. It is not only logical, but is necessary. But again, politics is not built on press statements. Alliances are not formed on general statements of goodwill. We've been hearing that for far too long. They are also not built by the Congress saying that we are the big brother and we are waiting for everybody to fall in line. Alliances is about hard numbers, ground realities. It's about seat sharing. It's about mutual trust. It's about timing. It's about local strength. It is also about ego management. It is about all of this. But above all, it is about clarity. It is a dog-eat-dog world where no quarter is given. No quarter can be asked for. Now, in this statement of Big Brother lies the almost taking for granted that other parties would run towards the Congress. Can this be true? Can the Congress take this for granted? Now, it has also asked people who have left the party to return unconditionally. Girish Chodankar has spoken about strengthening the Congress by getting in former congressmen to come back and to strengthen the party. But let us dwell on this seriously, because this is not a small statement. This is not merely some routine organization building. The question that one asks is that at this stage, with 4 months to go, is this the time to strengthen parties or to consolidate the strengths and get into election mode? We are almost in July. June is almost over. Goa will be in election mode actually in 4 months. This is not the time when you talk about these kind of things like strengthening parties and so on and so forth. If strengthening parties was needed, what was the Congress doing since 2022? It had 4 years to strengthen itself. So hence, this is not just about consolidating strength, it is about formulating numbers. It is a time for hard numbers. It's a time for seat calculations. It's a time for candidate mapping. It's a time for booth strategy. It's a time for all of this. It is also the time for identifying which constituencies are vulnerable, where more work is needed. That is the time that is needed for all of this. If the Congress is still in the stage of inviting people to strengthen the party, the question is what, again, as I said, was happening for 4 long years. We all know what was happening for 4 long years. Disillusionment, defection, indecision, and strengthening the BJP. All that the opposition has done in the last 4 years, especially the Congress, and mostly the Congress, they have really strengthened, but they have not strengthened their own party, they've strengthened the BJP. Now, let us be very clear. We are all adults here. Nobody joins a political party between July and December in an election year to simply come and work selflessly without any expectation. Nobody enters at this stage to strengthen the ideology of the party or the Congress. Nobody enters here to work selflessly with dedication. People enter because they want tickets, they want space, they want relevance, they want bargaining power, they want respect, and so on and so forth. This is pure politics. Let us look at these elections as pure politics, not as a lesson in civic science. There is nothing shocking about it, but then let's accept what it is and let us not dress this up as a selfless strengthening of the party. Nobody is coming to the Congress to strengthen the Congress. Let's be very blunt about this. Now, let us now look at the baggage that the Congress has. Because the Congress, when saying that they want people to come and strengthen the party, does not have a very good track record of people they got to so-called strengthen the party on the eve of elections. Ultimately, they come, they jump onto the bus, they buy the bus ticket from the conductor, and when the bus stops at its destination, people just get off and simply go to their destination. So the Congress has become a bus stop and a bus. It has not become a vehicle for absolute strengthening and positioning itself as Goa's principal opposition party. Let that be very clear. Now let us give you some examples of people who came, boarded the bus and said they are coming to strengthen the party, and quietly got off the bus after the elections and went back to the BJP. First, let us look at Dayanand Sopte of the 2017 batch. Okay. Now, Sopte's example is something that the Congress just cannot forget. He came from the BJP, contested on a Congress ticket in Mandre in 2017, won the election, left the Congress in 2018, in less than a year actually, and to join the party. Now do you call this last minute strengthening? Do you call this strengthening the party? And this is exactly what we are talking about. So this party strengthening exercise also, very funnily, seems to be linked completely to an election year. During election season, many people suddenly find themselves joining a party to strengthen the party. And after the election is over, they jump off and feel no further need to strengthen that party. So there is a direct link between the election season and people suddenly feeling the great desire to strengthen parties. And this is exactly what happens in Goa. Then you look at Babush Montserrat, the very typical case of coming in, jumping in and jumping out, jumping in and jumping out. Now he has changed his political jerseys long enough and often enough. Babush joined the Congress in 2019, contested the Congress by-poll on a Congress ticket, and then on July 10th, 2019, another black letter day for the Congress, joined the other 9 MLAs to form a group of 10 who went back to the BJP. Now, this is exactly what it is. People come to the Congress, join it, damage it, and leave it. And the Congress thinks that they are getting these people because they also want to make short-term gains, get people who are strong enough to strengthen the party, so-called, merely win seats so that the Congress numbers can show up. And then came the 2022 batch. Perhaps the most recent and damaging example, because it happened after all the public pledges, visits to the church, the Gurudwara, the masjids, and so on and so forth. And again, this kind of optics is no longer going to be tolerated by the Goan people. Michael Lobo left the BJP, joined the Congress. His wife Delilah Lobo joined the Congress. Then came Kedar Nayak, the Reshmagos Sarpanch, joined the Congress, all to strengthen the party. Then you had Rajesh Faldesai, who joined the Congress a little earlier. All of this happened. And then on September 14, 2022, all these people who came to strengthen the party came up and left. There are others who are congressmen who left, but these are the people who came to strengthen the party. So this is again, I'm merely underlining Girish's remark of inviting people to strengthen the party. Now, of course, every party has the right to expand. Every party has the right to strengthen itself. Every party has the right to bring in local faces. But if you see the history of Goa from 2017 onwards and even earlier perhaps, this is exactly what is happening. You have fly-by-night operators coming in and then leaving as soon as possible to join the BJP. So that is why the Congress has to show how it will pass this test, how it will pass this commitment of bringing in people who will ultimately stay and not leave the Congress. That is the Congress's biggest albatross, that is the Congress's cross to bear, and that is the Congress's biggest challenge, because unless they overcome this challenge and convince the people, very few people in Goa will actually believe that new people are coming into Congress to strengthen the party. Now let us come back to the alliance issue. In an interview to Inc. Goa in May, Girish Chodankar had said that alliances will be done. It will happen by June or July. June has come and almost gone. July is knocking at our doors. But alliance talks have not managed to move beyond any stage. It is nowhere close to a formal stage. Because an alliance takes time. It is not like ordering a pizza. A pizza order comes in a record time. Alliances don't come in such record time. If the Congress has to take the lead, it has to put in the numbers, it has to say how many seats it's willing to give, and it really needs to call that meeting, pick up the phone, call the meeting. It has to sit on a table and have that discussion. It does not take such a long time to have discussions. And then at the heart of it is Goa Forward. This Goa Forward and the Congress have been in a very uneasy political conversation, if at all, for a long time. The Congress knows that Goa Forward has pockets of influence and could get seats and damage it. And the Congress needs to have the Goa Forward if it is serious about avoiding vote splitting. Otherwise, vote splitting will happen. Now, what one understands is that the Congress will definitely not give Goa Forward more than 3 seats at the maximum. This is clear. And it is impossible to imagine that Goa Forward is going to accept those 3 seats. This is a central contradiction. And this is exactly what is going to happen. The Congress wants to be big brother, but it does not want to concede too much of space. And this is exactly where the contradiction lies. Therefore, the proof of this is not a statement from a desk in charge. The proof of this is a formal meeting, a seat sharing, and a very realistic alliance that needs to be put in place. Now, even as the Congress makes politically correct statements about alliances, Yuri Alemao, the LOP, has gone about in a slightly different way to crush this atmosphere of alliance building. Yes, Yuri Alemao has actually effectively crushed the atmosphere of alliance building. Take the remark on Vijay Sardesai's birthday, for instance. He made a sarcastic comment that 2027 should not repeat itself, taking a clear dig at Vijay Sardesai's post-2017 election support to Manohar Parrikar. Now, this may be a valid political criticism from Yuri's point of view. Many in Goa still remember that 2017 and the way the BJP formed the government. But the point here is timing matters. If you are in the middle of an alliance conversation with another political party, you do not use the birthday of the head of that party to make a remark of this sort, clearly meaning that you want to vitiate the political atmosphere. At the end of the day, are you looking at 2027 or are you looking at 2017? And that's going to be very important. And then using this birthday moment to attack a potential alliance partner for 2027 is ill-timed. And even Manikrao Thakre, in an interview to Goa, admitted that this was politically immature. Now, this is basically the contradiction within the Congress. On one side, the AICC desk in charge speaks of alliances. On the other side, he also asks Girish Chodankar to take the lead. And then it wants the non-BJP forces to come together. But then the leader of the opposition again makes comments that vitiates this whole atmosphere and takes it to a different low level. Now, this is where the matter lies, because you must understand that while the LOP's job is to keep his party active, to keep the cadre confident, to give them that level of confidence and boost, one understands that you need to make these statements. But they have to be made keeping in mind the larger reality and the larger ground reality of a united opposition fight against the BJP. Now, about 24 hours ago, almost coinciding with the PSC meeting, Yuri Alemao claimed that the Congress is going to win 27 seats in 2027. As a leader of the opposition, there is no problem. He can make such claims. Nobody expects him to concede defeat. But then, this number 2027 must be tested with arithmetic, not emotion. And this is the arithmetic. From 2000 onwards, the Congress's conversion ratio in Goa, when I say conversion ratio, conversion of victories to the seats it has contested. Now, the conversion ratio of the Congress is about 39%. In 2002, the Congress contested 40 seats and won 16. In 2007, it contested 32 and won 16. In 2012, it contested 34 and won 9. In 2017, it contested 37 and won 17. So, and in 2022, it contested 37 and won 11. The broad conversion ratio is 39%. Now, if you apply that 39% conversion rate and put it into a historical tally, then to win 27 seats, the Congress has to contest 70 seats in a house of 40 seats, if it has to maintain this conversion ratio. Okay? And that is where the problem is. If it contests 40 seats and wants to win 27, it needs a conversion rate of 67.5%, which it has never done in recent history. It means that it has to win 2 out of every 3 seats that it contests. Now, this is where the problem lies. Now, look at the alliance. If the Congress is serious and says that, okay, I'm going to give 10 seats to my alliance partners and contest 30 seats, and if it wants to say it's going to win 27 out of those 30 seats, its conversion rate has to be 90%. Now, when has the Congress achieved this conversion rate? So we do understand the real question is not about whether Yuri Alema wants to motivate Congress workers, but the real question is how many seats are you going to ultimately contest and leave for your allies? When you say I'm winning 27 seats, please tell the people how many seats you are contesting for your claim to be more transparent. That is where we lie. Now let us look at this whole issue of alliances and deadlines. Because right now there is no clarity. We are swimming in a sea of ambiguity. July has come or will come very soon. July will become August. August will become September. Committees will meet. Statements will be made. Social media cartoons produced by highly paid social media creative minds who are being paid in lakhs will again develop more and more cartoons, and these spot shots will continue. It almost is a serious question now as to who is fighting against who. Is the Congress fighting the BJP, or are the alliances ultimately fighting the BJP, or is the fight amongst themselves? And that is what is important. At the grassroots level, these spot shots and cutting at each other between the non-BJP parties is going on. One young leader who recently joined the Goa Forward in Kurchore found his own local team split, with a new faction getting ready to join the Congress. Then another social activist, a lady social activist, who was briefly inclined towards Goa Forward and was almost joining it, has now hurtled back into the Congress, saying that the Congress is my first party, my first political love, and is about to join the Congress. Now, there is nothing illegal, immoral, or unethical about all of this. Every party has the right to strengthen itself. But it is just something that people need to know, that there is no political love loss even as these alliance talks are going on. People are cutting each other, trying to strengthen themselves. That is a political reality that happens, and that is also happening. But people should know about this. Now, this transparency is again this very big issue. The Congress cannot play a game of paying lip service to alliance while keeping all its other options open. Smaller parties also cannot wait forever. Goa Forward will not wait forever, nor will any other party wait forever. So this symbolic endorsement of an alliance will only be symbolic, because mature politicians will not sit down and wait for that proverbial alliance to ultimately happen, because it has ultimately become proverbial. I will now, on a lighter note, speak about a play called Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. This entire play is about people waiting for a character like Godot to arrive, but there is no Godot and there is no arrival. And that is exactly what the alliance story is all about. It is the waiting for Godot phenomenon which is getting played out again and again. Now let us look at the Congress. Is it really behaving like a big brother? Is it showing affection, or is it showing attitude? And that is what one needs to know, because attitude will ultimately crush the alliance, and it will crush any chances of taking on the BJP. Because the Goa Congress story is not just about contesting seats. It's about converting seats. It's about protecting the mandate. It's about alliances that are real and not symbolic. And that is important. It is not about getting winnable leaders but getting leaders who will stay. And the BJP will watch all this with interest. The BJP does not need to do much. It just needs to wait to see the opposition alliance crumble, and it is doing its best to ensure that that is exactly what happens. Because the opposition's inability to convert the anti-BJP sentiment into actual votes is historic. Will history repeat itself? So the warning to the Congress is simple. If you are serious about alliance, then stop treating alliance as a slogan, get down to work, pick up the phone and talk numbers. If you are serious about being big brother, then show the big brother attitude and show clarity, not depict confusion. And that is very important, because after the elections, it is all about not just strengthening the party, it's about strengthening Goa. Will we have people who are going to strengthen Goa? Because nobody is talking about Goa in this narrative. And that is important. Who do you strengthen? Whether you ditch the party that you joined or not, and ultimately, whether you ultimately work for the people of Goa and the land of Goa with absolute honesty, is the basic questions. And for that, the arithmetic has to match the attitude. The sloganeering has to match the real needs of the ground to strengthen this alliance and to actually form the alliance in the first place. And this is what the Congress needs to do, and even the other political parties need to do. But the other political parties, as younger brothers, will wait for Congress to take the lead. It is now looking, and all of Goa is looking to see whether the Congress will only play big brother in reality or big brother in attitude. Thank you so much.